Hi all, welcome to a new semester at Bakersfield College and welcome to our online ethics class. I'm Brian Russell and I'll be your instructor for the semester, and in this introductory video I'm going to walk you through the syllabus and give you a brief tour of the course. So we'll just jump right into it and look at the syllabus. Before we get to the syllabus, let me show you how to get to our course Canvas shell where you can find the syllabus. So the first thing you want to do is go to the Bakersfield College website and go up here in the left to Inside BC. It's going to ask you to enter your school email address and password, and then it'll take you to a screen that looks sort of like this. You'll click on your courses and you'll scroll down to Introduction to Ethics, and our CRN is 32267. So click on that. And that will take you to a page that will look like this. So you'll have all the modules for our course. We'll talk about those a little bit later. And on the left-hand side here, you will see a menu with some various links. Let's go to the syllabus first. And you can find the syllabus for the course here. We're going to go through it as a Word document because it's a little bit cleaner. And then we'll come back to this site in a little bit. All right, so there you see my name, Brian Russell, where my office is located on campus. So in the Fine Arts Building, room 70. So the Fine Arts Building has two wings. If you're coming on campus to meet with me, you're going to want to come to the wing where you're hearing music instead of seeing visual art. I'm next to the music rooms. So Fine Arts 70, and I'm here in my office on Mondays and Wednesdays from noon to 1, and from Wednesdays from 3 to 6, and by appointment. And let me highlight that by appointment part. I'm very willing to make appointments on campus or off campus if that might be easier for you. So if you want to make an appointment and talk about the content of this course or how things are going for you at BC, I'm happy to meet with you. You can reach me at my email address, brian.russell@bakersfieldcollege.edu. I try to respond within 2 days. If I haven't responded within 2 days, just send me another email and say, hey, I sent you this email 2 days ago. You still haven't gotten back to me. I take no offense to that at all. Throughout the semester, I'm pretty busy, so some things fall through the cracks. If your email falls through the cracks, please don't hesitate to send me another email. And let me know that it's the second time that you're sending me the email. But again, I try to get back to everybody within a couple days. Okay, so the course description: examination of the philosophical approach to morality, study of the meaning of ethics and morality and methods used in ethical theorizing and reasoning, and emphasizes major ethical issues and theories, instructs how to set up an ethical system. When we get to the schedule of the course, I'll talk a little bit more about how it's broken up. In the first lecture that I'm going to be doing, the trolley problems lecture, I'll talk a little bit more about what ethics and morality is. So I'll put a pin in a lot of that course description until later. So the outcomes you're going to need by the end of this course, you'll be able to understand major ethical theories, discuss major ethical problems and how the ethical theories might give us guidance to figure out those ethical problems, distinguish between competing ethical theories, and know what a good life is and how to live it. So a lot. We're doing a lot this semester. Textbooks and materials. There is but one textbook, and it's a very small one. So you'll need this textbook or access to it somehow. It's called The Elements of Moral Philosophy by James and Stuart Rachels. Here on the syllabus, I say any edition. The closer to the 8th, the better. They do make small updates in every edition. The edition that I'll be using is the 8th edition. I think they're on the 9th edition now. You won't have any problems if you're in the 9th edition. I don't think you'll have any problems if you're in the 7th edition. Any earlier editions, they may not have all the chapters that we'll be going over in this class. So I would recommend 7th, 8th, or 9th edition. And you can find those used online fairly cheap. In fact, let's see what we can find just with a quick search. All right, so here's the 8th edition. You can see it's for 16 bucks here online. I wouldn't be surprised if you could find it even cheaper. You can definitely rent it. There are a lot of different ways that you can get the text. If you have any questions about it, don't be afraid to shoot me an email. All right, so I will be providing some additional readings on Canvas via links. Those won't be a lot. We'll primarily be using the text, but for a couple weeks we'll have some additional articles, and I'll link to those on the Canvas site. That should be all for textbooks and materials. So the course requirements. There will be 3 exams. They'll each be worth 100 points. There'll be a combination of multiple choice and essay prompts. So you'll have to write about a 2-page essay for each exam, and there'll be about 30 to 35 multiple choice questions that you'll have to answer. I'll provide a study guide a week ahead of the scheduled exam. So the way I make the exams is I look at the study guide and I make the questions while I'm looking at the study guide. You'll have the possible essay questions also on that study guide a week ahead of the scheduled exam. The exams will be timed, so once you open the exam, you'll have an hour and a half to complete it. All right, there is a final essay for this class. There'll be an entire video where I go over my expectations for that final essay, but it'll be about a 4-page essay, and that will also be worth 100 points. Then underneath the final essay assignment here, you see that the lowest of the 4 100-point assignments is dropped. So that's 3 exams and 1 final essay. Whichever is your lowest score of those 4 assignments, I drop that from your grade. So if you miss one of the exams for whatever reason, and you got a 0 on that exam, then that grade would be dropped. If you decide not to do the final essay, then that would be a 0 and that grade would be dropped. If you do all 4 of those assignments, then I'll just take your lowest grade from any of those 4 and drop it. And you can do that however you want to. If you're very confident in your writing abilities, you could take just 2 out of the 3 exams and hand in that final essay. If you bomb a test, then you can hope that that test will be dropped. All right, so again, I'll drop the lowest of the 4 100-point assignments. There will be a short essay for this class, 50 points. That'll just be a 2-page essay that we'll be doing about a month. I'll, again, have a video in which I discuss the requirements for that short essay. There'll be a number of quizzes throughout the semester. There'll be reading quizzes, and there'll also be post-lecture quizzes. So whenever we have a reading for the week, you'll have to read it and then do a short reading quiz. The reading quizzes are designed just to make sure you're keeping up with the reading. If you read the chapters or the articles with any care at all, they really shouldn't be too much of a problem. It'll be anywhere from 2 to 5 multiple choice questions. And you'll have 10 minutes to answer it. So what I would suggest you do is you give the chapter a good read through, and then have the text next to you when you open the reading quiz. Quickly do all the ones you know, and if there's any you have to look for in the 10 minutes, you'll have a little bit of time to look up the answers. We will also have post-lecture quizzes. The post-lecture quizzes will consist of questions that I will give you in the video lectures. So in the video lectures, I'll be lecturing along, and then towards the end of the video lectures, I'll put on the screen and read the post-lecture quiz questions, and it will also have the post-lecture quiz possible answers. So while you're watching the video lecture, you'll just have to write in a notebook or on a piece of paper what the questions are and what your answers are. Because when you come to the quiz, the post-lecture quiz online, it will have the question, but it won't have the possible answers. It'll just have A, B, C, for example. And the answers will come from your viewing of the lecture. So you'll have to watch the video lectures to perform well on the post-lecture quizzes. All right, and then we have a participation grade, which will also be 100 points towards your final grade. The way I'll be tracking participation in this course is through your participation in our discussion boards. So for each week, there will be a question for the week, and you'll have to post to our discussion board for that week. I think I'm going to limit it to 200 words for your initial post. You'll have to post a response to the question of the week, and you'll have to post that response before you see anybody else's responses. So after you post your 200-word max response to the question of the week, you'll be able to see everybody else's responses to the question, and you'll also be required to respond to at least one other person's post. And you'll get about 10 points per week for participation, minus the 3 exams, and another week where you write the short paper. That'll add up to about 120, so I'll probably end up dropping your 2 lowest participation scores. So that would allow you to miss, for whatever reason, 2 weeks in which we'll be doing discussion boards, and you wouldn't be penalized for it. All right, if you have any questions about those course requirements, please send me an email. I'm happy to respond to it. The grading is very straightforward. Here on the syllabus, you'll see some important dates to remember. So the census date is February 4th. Drop without a W is February 4th. Drop with the W is March 21st. So you want to evaluate where you are in the course at those dates and see if you need to drop. Down here, I have some descriptions of the various elements of the course. So I already talked about the reading quizzes. The video lectures will often be very brief, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe at the higher end, 40 to 45 minutes. They'll all be in this format where I'll have a PowerPoint or a Word document or something up, and I'll be talking up here in the corner. The post-lecture quizzes we also talked about, and the exams and the final essay. There's a little bit more information about the final essay here. I won't read drafts, but if you do want to send me some questions about your final essay, I'm happy to respond to those. Also, you can use the Writing Center on campus. It's a great resource. In my video lecture about my expectations for the final essay, I'll hit that again because the Writing Center is really good, and they're paid to read your essay and help you make it better. The short essay I've also talked about, and participation I've talked about. Here at the bottom of the syllabus, you will see some links to some various resources and a note about academic integrity. So if you need any extra accommodations, here is the link you would follow, and we will need to handle that sooner rather than later. So if you do need extra accommodations, please follow that link or call that number. The sort of workflow for this is you get in contact with them. They'll give you some forms or some online resources that you'll send to me, and I'll get back to you. So you contact them first, but here's the information you'll need to contact them. Oh, don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. I'll hit that again when I talk about in the essay videos. This is an ethics course, so that's especially bad in this course. You can't use papers from previous courses and apply them to this course. It has to be an original work. Again, I'll hit all of that in the essay videos. Course policies. So all weekly assignments are due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. We're going to be going week by week in this course, so I'll open the content for the week at the beginning of the week. And then it will close on Sunday at 11:59. So all the assignments for the week will need to be completed by that time. I'm not going to reopen any assignments for any reason. Once they're closed, they're closed. So set your schedule how you need to accomplish that. Links to resources. So the Writing Center, the Student Health Center, College Safe Space, Latinos Unidos, all of those you can find on the syllabus, which you can find on the Course Canvas site. And then at the bottom of the syllabus, we have a course calendar for the entire course. So week by week, what I expect you to have completed. You'll see for week 1, you should complete the Welcome, Online Orientation, and Trolley Problems and Intro to Arguments modules. So that's 3 modules. This is in the Welcome module. It's all that's in the Welcome module, so congratulations, you're completing the first module of the course right now. The Online Orientation, if you haven't taken an online class before, it's a very good resource. It will walk you through how to turn in assignments online, how to use the discussion boards, email etiquette, discussion board etiquette, things like that. There is a quiz on there. It's not graded. For those of you who have taken online classes before through Bakersfield College, you need not do the online orientation again, especially if you've done it in another class. But it's there for those of you who haven't taken it, or for those of you who might need a refresher course. And finally, the Trolley Problems and Intro to Argument module. In that module, I'll be introducing ethics with some popular and what I take to be fun thought experiments about ethics. We'll be playing God with stick figures, and in that module as well, I'll also start to talk about arguments in general. If you've taken a logic class or a critical thinking class, some of that will be review, but for me especially, it always helps for me to review that stuff. If you haven't taken a philosophy class before, that Intro to Arguments section will be very, very important. But regardless of whether you've done something like that before, you do have to complete the Trolley Problem and Intro to Argument module by January 20th at 11:59. Also, it's college policy that if you don't attend for the first week of class, that we drop you and move somebody into the class from the wait list. This class is no exception. The way I track attendance for the first week online is completion of this first module. So if you don't complete the Welcome module, you're doing that right now. If you don't complete the online, you don't need to do that. If you don't complete the Trolley Problem and Intro to Argument module, then you will be dropped from the class. So it's very important that you complete that for your continued enrollment in the class. Then you can see what the rest of the class will contain. We'll work on parts of arguments in the first week, evaluating arguments, and getting into the textbook, chapter 1 in that second week. So you'll need the textbook for the second module, for the module in the second week. So by January 21st, you'll need the textbook. Then we'll get into some ethical theories. You'll see that assignments, big assignments, are in bold. So there's a short essay assignment that you'll have to complete by February 17th at 11:59, and I'll be posting a video on that at the beginning of that week. So around February 11th, I'll post a video about the short essay assignment, and you'll have to complete that by February 17th. Then our first exam you'll have to complete between the 25th of February and March 3rd. It will close at 11:59, never to be reopened again, and I'll try to have that graded within a week. The video for the final essay will be up in week 10. That won't be due until May 5th. You'll see another exam due March 31st, and the third exam due May 9th at 11:59. All right. One note about the final exam. It's just the third exam. There is no final in this class. It's not comprehensive. After every exam, we'll pretty much be leaving behind that content, moving on to new content, except for the content we'll be covering for the first exam. I mean, we'll be talking about the big ethical theories that we cover for that first exam throughout the course. We'll also be talking about arguments, especially ethical arguments throughout the course. So you will need to know that stuff. It's just I won't really be testing you on that after the first exam. But besides that, the exams are not comprehensive. It'll just be on the second exam will just be on the new material. The third exam will just be on the new material for that section. There's no comprehensive final for this class. All right, so let's hop over to the course Canvas shell. So we've been completing the welcome module. So you see, if you go to the course Canvas shell on the left-hand side here, if you click on the modules button, it'll take you to this page. And you'll see what we've been doing is the welcome module. So the video lecture appeared here on this page. If you click this, you can come back to this lecture. The next module you'll see is the online orientation module. There's a bunch of helpful information here. It's not as long as it looks. Each of these tips are just a page. There is a little quiz here that does not count towards your final grade. So don't worry about it too much, but it does help you remember some of this information. So again, if you haven't taken an online course before, that might be really helpful for you. If you have, especially here at BC, you might not need to do that. All right, so then you'll see week 1, trolley problems and intro to arguments. These 4 things, you'll need to complete all of those before the end of this week. So you'll see a trolley problems lecture, trolley problems post-lecture quiz. There will also be added to this a parts of arguments lecture, a parts of arguments post-lecture quiz, and then the discussion board for this week is called trolley problems discussion. So after you watch that trolley problem lecture and learn about the parts of arguments, you can take part in the trolley problem discussion. Again, post a response to the question, which you'll see once you click on it. And you'll have 200 word max to post a response to that question, and then you'll be able to see everybody else's contributions, and then you'll have to respond to somebody else. All right, so I think that's about it for this introductory lecture. So again, welcome to the class. I hope we can have some good conversations, and I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say and introducing you to ethics. So for the introduction to ethics, go ahead and after you've done the online orientation, click on this trolley problems lecture, and we'll talk about what ethics is through some fun thought experiments. All right, thanks all. See you all next time.